Time is running out for people in North Queensland to evacuate their homes. Cyclone Debbie is now a severe Category 3 system and is continuing to intensify as it tracks towards the coast. Here's Joe O'Brien, who's in Townsville. Joe, what's the latest on the path of Debbie and what does that mean for locals there?
Yes, so Ros, it was interesting with this latest update that just came through in the last hour. It was a little bit late, so we didn't get all that information just at the top of the last hour, so I'll just go through it again once now. The cyclone is now going to, or the predicted path is to cross the coast south of Bowen. So in those last two updates, we've seen it move progressively south. Initially it was between Ayr and Bowen, and now it's south of Bowen. They've upgraded the speed of the winds closest to the eye from 230 to 240 k's an hour, which is a deep concern. But the good thing is they're indicating that it will degenerate to a Category 3 pretty quickly once it's crossed the coast. Now, what's happening right now is that those winds are picking up around Hamilton Island. That seems to be the place that's copping the brunt of it at the moment as this system moves towards the coast. Hamilton is receiving gusts of up to 110 k's an hour at the moment, and we can expect those winds to increase up the coast over the course of the coming hours. I just had a look at the winds in Bowen and Ayr. It's not too bad there, which I guess is not surprising because that's only 2 hours down the road from here. We've got Debbie about kind of 300 k's out that way, and Bowen about 200 k's. So the cyclone is actually closer to Bowen right here now than it is to Townsville. But yeah, a concern that those maximum wind gusts are going to get up to 240 k's an hour. But looks like, well, according to this latest information, that it may degenerate pretty quickly.
Okay, well, let's hear from Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk, who held a media conference just over an hour ago, I think. Here she is.
If the police contact you or your local disaster management group contacts you, you must listen to this expert advice. Let me say that again. Listen to the expert advice. That's exactly what I'm doing, and that's what I need families to do throughout our state. Listen to the expert advice. This is what the people of this state do. They are expert in these regions, and we need to adhere to what they are saying.
So how does Cyclone Debbie, Joe, compare with other storms that have hit the North Queensland coast? I believe you were there. Was it when Yasi hit?
Yeah, that's right, Ros. About 6 years ago now, to the north of here, a couple of hours north of here, the eye crossed at Mission Beach, and Tully was the place that was hard hit. Tully Heads and Hull Heads, which sit at the mouth of the Tully River. That was a Category 5 system with winds up around 280 k's an hour. This system is not far off that. If this is as powerful as the Bureau says it's going to be at 240 k's, this is a severe system, and we can expect some pretty extensive damage if it crosses the coast with that power. With that latest track, it has it crossing the coast. There's a little place called Dingo Beach, which looks like it is in the direct line of fire now. But if it crosses a bit further south of Bowen, there are less populated, there are still people who live there and there is great concern for them, but there seems to be a kind of less populated areas immediately to the south of Bowen, but then you start getting towards Airlie Beach, Mackay, Proserpine, those sorts of places.
And then once the cyclone has passed, Joe, there's the worry about the storm surge. How severe is that expected to be?
Yeah, well, the problem is tomorrow it's expected to cross the coast at 8 o'clock in the morning, and wouldn't you know it, there's going to be a high tide about that time. So the storm surge is going to come in on top of the high tide, and that's why they're so concerned that they're evacuating another 2,000 residents from Bowen this afternoon. And we've just heard that there's more alerts for communities north of Mackay now that the system is slipping further south.
Joe, thanks so much for the update. Talk to you soon.